tonight. I heartily welcome you to our AI Masterclass, Practical AI Skills for Today's Workforce. Kate, did you join did you share the slides? Yes.
I will share now. Yep.
Our videos are not visible yet.
No, we have the slides here.
Yeah, okay. So the thing is, we are going to have tonight the masterclass. You are all muted until the very end. At the very end, we give you the permission to talk, and then you can ask your questions. During our sessions, you can also ask questions, and we are either going to write you in the back in the chat, or we are going to answer them afterwards, depending on the volume and of your questions and the topics. Okay. So good evening, everyone, to our first AI Masterclass with Practical AI Skills for Today's Workforce. We are going to fill the next 2 hours with information about AI. We will give you an overview about the future job market, about how to use AI in business cases, about how AI can support coding, and about how AI agents, how they are, what they are, and how they can, what you can achieve with them, right? Be sure you will receive a lot of hands-on knowledge, which you can use right afterwards. And so let us start with us. Who are we? Well, we are a team from the Constructor Academy. This is Ekaterina Butjugina, Stefanie Wiedel, and Matteo, and myself.
So what to expect today? Here we will talk a bit, this is a Katarina's part, but I think maybe I can speak also about the future of job market trends.
Or maybe you do your part, Kate, and then Katarina can speak in the end about the job market as well, if you wish.
We can see, well, like if there's something, I mean, I don't know if the connection will be better.
Yeah.
So I think I can continue. So we talk about the future of job market trends.
Can you hear me? I think not.
Not very well.
No, it's interrupted.
Coming and going.
And she disappeared. Okay. So I think I will continue then. And then AI and business, well, we talk about, I will do a small masterclass with 3 hands-on examples for AI in business. Then it will be AI-assisted coding with Stefanie. She will talk about developing a simple game and other things that you can do with AI-assisted coding. And also Matteo will talk about agents. So it's more for coders and more techie people, build intelligent workflows. And then we talk summary and key takeaways, and hopefully Katarina's connection gets better until then, and what would be possible next steps. So, what we found out, AI is there and it's not going away anytime soon. It will influence us in many ways. I mean, basically, you already know it, right? It's in your life already. It's the ChatGPT, Gemini, and other models that have been there. So in all the tools it's been implemented, all the companies trying to figure out how it can work in finance, in marketing, and other things for AI development. So there's a huge market for this. And we say also AI will change the job market as well. So in this trend study in 2024, in that region, there was a survey, so that in 5 years, even almost in 4 years, like 79% of C-level executives consider AI will be crucial for business success. This is only surpassed by cybersecurity and cloud computing, but as we know, this is mostly cloud computing is now also used for AI tools for AI implementation and also for cybersecurity. It's the fraud is being built with AI, and then it's companies for cybersecurity. They also need to build AI, which is fighting another AI. So it's also kind of in these areas as well. And 70% of the companies, they report already measurable business value from AI. So they are either reducing the costs, or they earn more money, or they get profitability for their products. So it's basically, again, it's already there, and almost everyone is using it. And yeah, well, that shows the impact of AI on the market in general and on the job market as well. So for market overview, yeah, how it will be actually changing the job market in 5 years, and even now already that you know that it's already AI engineers and people knowing how to build agents and RAG are needed, and RAGs, and yeah, well, working with MCP servers, all of this is in high demand. That 39% of today's business skills are going to be outdated, which is counted like the skills like entering the data into database or something very manual, let's say, work will be automated. So 30% of the jobs will be automated, 60% reshaped, meaning that marketing people will not need to just yeah, maybe maybe they will need to build dashboards themselves, already kind of doing the vibe coding, or designers, they're not only maybe sketching their designs or just doing the very simple prototype, but they maybe will need already to create these 3D designs where a person can actually look at this design through 3D space. And yeah, project managers, they might also build working prototypes instead of just let's say having a pen and paper and or like a spreadsheets or something. So that's basically reshaping all the careers, not all the, like 60% of the jobs, and up to 300 million jobs globally will be displaced. But yeah, not automatically by AI, but people who know how to use it. So basically, if you know how to use it, you are safe. So most affected will be repetitive and clerical work, as I said, this manual work maybe, and less affected more social professions, and where you need to be really, yeah, well, to master the craft. New job fields are emerging in AI development. Yes, there are going to be new positions, like especially in data analytics, cybersecurity, healthcare, sustainability, and creative industries. So there are links to this research. You will get the slides in the end. Actually, you will get also the recording, if I understand correctly. So all the slides, they are all the like links here are active, so you can actually go through this research on your own. So yeah, well, the fastest growing jobs in the next 10 years would be these ones. As you can see, I think this is the questions from World Economic Forum, I think. And yeah, well, what will be in demand is big data specialists, fintech engineers, AI and machine learning specialists, of course, because I mean, we have all this data and we need to think of how to apply this data. And every business now is trying to figure out how to use AI in these businesses. Software and application developers, security management specialists, data warehousing. This is very important because we need more and more data, and huge warehouses are being built. And recently it was really a big focus of these big corporations to who is winning in building these huge data centers. So yeah, well, these are the jobs that are going to be actually in demand. So I'm recommending you to look into this maybe in more detail after the masterclass. And the core skills, what is very interesting that, yeah, well, what will be important now and in the future, in the near future. This was a questionnaire, so that was employers were asked, okay, what do you think is the skill that will be needed soon at your company, at your place? And these are the skills is like analytical thinking. And again, you can see that it's not necessarily AI itself, but it's like ability to use AI, right? Analytical thinking, resilience, flexibility, agility, leadership and social influence, creative thinking. So motivation, of course, is very important because you know that, yeah, well, motivation and self-awareness, that as more independent you are, as more you can help the company to grow, this more important it is. Technological literacy, this one is also very interesting because yeah, as you know, technology is being old very soon, and that you need to know, well, first of all, some basics of like some how to say, some core of this technology technology, right, like data literacy and some basic computer knowledge, but also it's being soon updated, and it's easier having this foundation to go through the new techniques also, empathy and active listening, curiosity. This is really, really important skill right now because so many new things appear every day, every week, and well, that's definitely what helps to not get lost in all of these things and still being curious, being actively looking for what can help at your workplace. But I mean, you are all here, so that means that you possess these main skills of what is important now. And basically, yeah, you can see also AI and big data, that's for sure is not going anywhere as well. What would be interesting to say here, that you see a lot of soft skills are listed here, and that is why the reason is that this technology is being outdated so soon. So it's maybe not that important to know the specific technology, because maybe tomorrow it will be already old news, right? But what is important is to being flexible, to being curious, to being agile enough to actually catch up on the newest technology. And that's really, really what is important. And that's this ability to learn and ability to apply this new knowledge to your workplace, to your goals. So that would be main things. Katarina is back, so if you want to take over, I guess then I continue again. So AI tools enter all the industries today. We talk about retail, finance, energy, it's biology, whatnot, right? This software development. And in retail, we can do customer support, chatbots, personalized recommendations, AI-tailored products, yeah, well, suggestions based on customer behavior. So there's a lot of things that can be done in retail. Then in finance, of course, we can always see the use cases like fraud detection, anomaly detection. There are machine learning algorithms that analyze transactional data for suspicious activity. And it's not only in finance, also, for example, in energy, right? That we can see that sometimes like our devices are broken and this power plant or, yeah, well, the wind turbine can be broken, and then to try to detect it in advance is actually a very important task, because if it's like too late, then company lose millions. So that this is smart grid optimization, AI forecast energy demand, also try to, yeah, well, see like this predictive maintenance. When you see when something is about to break, then we can predict it in advance sometimes. So yeah, basically the load of this energy on the plants, and yeah, basically different other things that can be done. And I don't know, Katerina, if you wanted to talk anything else about.
No, this is fine. So thanks. Sorry, it's breaking down here
Okay.
all the time. I'm super sorry, but thanks for taking over. So and not only in the industries is used, it's also used, the tools are used in every workplace nearly today. You can do so many things with AI, and now we are going to see with Ekaterina, with Stephanie, and with Matteo examples how you can use it. So this was now a very theoretical part, and now you will get some hands-on knowledge. So Kate will show you AI in business, how to create presentations, email automation, and private chatbots, right? And Stephanie will help you and will show you how AI-assisted coding works, and Matteo will go with you through mastering intelligent agents. And you will also see how and what kind of AI agent you can build. So thanks, Katharina, Kate, for taking over. So now it's your turn. And yeah, go ahead. The stage is now yours, open for you.
Thanks for the introduction. So yes, we prepared very short hands-on examples. I will talk about AI in business and in general. Yeah, we can start a bit with AI. I mean, I know some of you are for sure very familiar, but maybe some of you less. So just so that everyone is on the same note, let's talk about what is generative AI. It's basically a new class of artificial intelligence that doesn't just analyze the data, it creates entirely new content. So that new content can be learned from the previous information. These models can generate text, images, presentations, code, product design, whatnot, so many things, right? And then the landscape of generative AI is really wide. We were talking in the previous slide about this text, images, code, etc. So, and text-wise, it can do marketing content, for example, like the marketing campaign to advertise the product. It can do sales, for example, you can automate the emails for the sales and also support. Again, as we will see an example of email automation today, so how it can be a bit personalized and not completely automated answer, like which is fixed, but then more a creative one with OpenAI. Then general writing, assisted writing, that's okay, writing the content for the blog post, etc. And taking the notes from the meetings. There are tools that can record the meeting and then give a note, and every speaker, you will get the notes from every speaker. A lot of other things that you can do with text. Also, you can analyze your data and images. Was a lot of use cases. So for code, it's a code generation, it's debugging, writing documentation. Even you can build an app from scratch, just providing a prompt. There's a lot of tools like this right now. Then we have image generation, again, for the marketing content. We can create videos, or even there's a movie competition, like AI generated movies. There is a platform called runway.ai, and they have now the competition of this AI generated movies. And you have this for social media, of course, and for your product, you can do an image for media advertising. So for speech synthesis, you can provide a line of text, and it will be synthesized with your own voice sample. It can be synthesized as a speech. I also show some examples of this in the workshops sometimes. So there's video editing and generation of the video, adding subtitles to your video, so a lot of things can be done. 3D models, even you can do, like who's working with 3D printers, you can create this specific format which is required for the 3D printers, and you can even like describe what model you want to build and convert to this format, and it will build basically something. I mean, of course, there's a lot of adjustment and debugging for all of these things, and maybe you need few iterations, but in general, it really helps you to create, to produce new things, of course, based on the things that was learned by this model before. Then, of course, there's like different other things like automations of some processes in biology and chemistry. This AlphaFold, maybe some bio people might know it. Since AlphaFold is the software that helps biologists to work to see how proteins will fold. That means that we actually standing at the era of creating the synthetic proteins, and maybe we can create proteins that will cure diseases or will consume all the garbage, and we don't need to think about, what to do with this pollution of the earth. So there's opening so many opportunities. The gaming, you can create games, and you also can play games with AI. There's also music generation, audio generation with like Suno and other techniques, other tools. So that's a lot of things you can do. And today we will focus on 3 things, which is going to be create a business presentation with AI, then master an AI email automation, and build your own private chatbot. So let's start with the business presentation with AI. Here is also the links that you can click. First of all, I want to show you this tool which called Gamma. And here, just to simplify the demonstration, I will take note from ChatGPT. Here, let me maybe press escape. So I just created the notes, my prompt in advance, and the prompt was what you can do, and then it outputs some information like, okay, what this ChatGPT can do. It can do knowledge and learning, basically data and tech, writing and creativity, productivity and organization. Just simply for an example, I will copy it. Right, copy this, and then I use it as a notes to produce a nice presentation. So here would be an example of such a presentation. I'll first show you an example, and then we go step by step to create our own. So let me present. So here would be basically this, using the example from ChatGPT, the notes that I used. I just put them as a prompt here for Gamma. And then, yeah, while it shows me quite a decent presentation, right? The many capabilities of AI, discover the powerful ways, etc., etc. So then it has knowledge and learning. It's basically taking what we just generated and creating a presentation out of this. I like the style. It's very professional. It's easy to understand. It's very pleasantly visually. And yeah, basically it creates this nice presentation. But let's go step by step. So again, the Gamma app would be available by this link. You can click here, and then from this link, this will open this page, and we can go to Gamma itself, right? We are now in this creation environment, and what I will do is that create new AI. I would choose this paste in text, and what I will do is that just paste what I copied from ChatGPT. That's simply the prompt that I'm using, and the next step would be to generate from notes. Here I should do what is the action I want to choose. I'm generating from notes or an outline, and continue to prompt editor. And then it will take me to the page which is going to, yeah, well, ask me additional questions. I want this presentation to be minimal. Okay, 6 cards in total. That's what I can use right now. Then, yeah, here I can provide additional specifications. So we say, okay, for business professionals, students, etc. So we make it not like for kids, we make it professional. Tone clear, helpful, versatile, and approachable expert voice in American English. Here I can change the language, but let's stick with English. So that's basically what we have with 6 cards, because we provided only 6 points, right? So let's generate, and let's hope I did not run out of my credits. But yeah, it gives you, yeah, okay, that's always good. So it gives you for free a certain amount of slides. Of course, it's somewhat, yeah, now it's creating a new presentation, but still it's very nice and very pleasant. So we see now that, yeah, basically taking all the points that we wanted. And now imagine if we needed to produce some presentation in 10 minutes, and our boss asked us to present something for the stakeholders, then okay, it's there, it's done. Quite a nice and easy steps. That's not only things that you can do, of course, that you can also download it. That for here, okay, for downloading, you click share and then export, and then either you export to PDF. I want to export it to PDF because I don't want to change anything else, and I want to send it over email, for example, and then it will be demonstrated. So everything was saved properly. Let me see. Yep, so the presentation is saved, so everything is there. Or you can save to PowerPoint, and then if you save it to PowerPoint, then you have a possibility to change something, of course, later on. So that would be just the process of presentation creation. And also there is an interesting option that you can do here. Okay, here's some, in this slide, some instructions how to save it. And on the next slide, also you can generate something from URL. And for example, I want to generate now the presentation from the URL. And for this, I will do create with AI, then import file or URL. Again, enter URL here. And I will use something from Constructor website. Let's do Generative AI for Business workshop. I just copy this this URL, and let's see what it will create for me. So simply I'm taking a web page, right, which is already very well structured here. So all the information I want to be in the presentation is there. So let's see what it will produce from live online presentation. Okay, we continue. So here again, I want a minimal example, and let's do 10 cards. If I want more, then I need to pay, which is fair, I think. But yeah, for this masterclass, let's stick to this free version. Now it's generating. And let's see what it produced from URL. Okay. So quite a nice thing. And imagine that you have a web page and you need to explain your business to someone, but you don't want to go just to your website. You want to be more professional. Let's say you want to create a presentation. So that simply you can take your URL and explain. Oh, Stephanie, can you mute maybe? Yep. And so that, yeah, you will be able to create it. So I think it's almost generated. Let's see what it's... Okay, so it's basically have a title slide with general information about the workshop. Then it has, yeah, unlock AI power for your business, build, prompt, automate. So basically, yeah, it has all the main points that I wanted to be there. But if I want to change something, I can do so as well. So it's by days. It's, yeah, well, it's about us. So that's, yeah, Gamma Up is a nice tool that you can use. And of course, here you can change, if you want to change something, you can simply streamline business processes with, yeah, generative AI. Of course, everything is flexible. You can change things here. And the tool is free, so feel free to use it. Okay, this part is over. We move forward to the next one, which is, yeah, in the meantime, if you have questions, you can write in the chat. And after my presentation, I will answer them when Stephanie will maybe present. So yeah, feel free, or again, in the end, we will open the floor for everyone so that you can ask your questions afterwards. Okay, so the next one is I'm showing email automation. This is a bit more, you know, not like techie, but still, I mean, you can do a lot of things here without knowing any coding language. So for example, we will work now with Google Scripts. I don't know this coding language, but I was able to create some automations with this, not only with emails. So how I'm using it actually, it's I'm creating the, as I'm program manager for the data science course. I forgot to introduce. Okay, so I'm program manager. My name is Ekaterina. I'm program manager for data science course at Constructor Academy. And what I'm doing is that I'm responsible for the program. I'm teaching, I'm working with companies on consultant projects. So basically working as data science consultant, as a teacher, and as a manager of the program. And as a manager of the program, I need to automate, for example, for me is always for the new batch, for the new class, I need to create calendar invites for the teachers. I need to create a program. So what I'm doing with Google Scripts, again, without knowing any of Google Scripts, but just with the help of AI, I'm automating, like from one Google Sheet, I'm creating the calendar invites. So basically I have 3 months that I need to, 3 months of events in calendar that I need to populate in my calendar. And everything is done automatically by using Google Scripts now. So I'm creating a file, and then from this file, it takes events for the Google Calendar. This is one example how I'm using it, but also it's good for email automations. So what we will use, these are active links on the slides, right? These are active, so you can click and it will lead you to the correspondent link. So here, this is a Google Doc with the prompt that we will use, right? Don't get scared. And this is Google Scripts. It's basically something that what we will use for the emails automation. For some reason, I opened the wrong account. Okay, now I'm in the correct account. Okay, so what we are going to do? We are going to, first of all, for this exercise, you need OpenAI API key. We will not set it up now. I will not share it today because if a lot of people use this API key, then we need to pay a lot. So for this, each individual, you will need to set up your own key. And for most of the exercises, you actually will need to do this. If you don't know how to do it, here is just, you can just copy this instruction. You can go to ChatGPT. Let's create a new chat. I'm just pasting here, and what I ask is to give me please instructions for OpenAI, how I set up my API key. While it's producing the answer, let's go back to the prompt. So what we will do now is like to create auto reply Clippy assistant. And this is a huge prompt that we will use, right? So we will need to copy all of this and put it into ChatGPT. I will just quickly explain what it's doing, right? So what it's doing is just auto reply. If you remember Clippy Assistant from Microsoft, it was this staple, right? So you can call it a different name. You can call it the name of your pet or yeah, whatever. So what we will do, we generate a Google script that will automate replies to unread emails in my Gmail account, right? So the script should use OpenAI key and yeah, well, restricted to the small model because we don't need the expensive model for this. So what it will do, we will read unread emails in my inbox and we will extract the information, sender's name, email content. Maybe in the meantime, Stephanie or Christina, or yeah, you can send me an email so that I can answer it to my Gmail account. So with the assistant keyword in the topic. Okay, then compose a reply based on this email content and then script. Yeah, well, we will read up to 50 unread emails and yeah, basically that's what we will do. There are some things, I'm giving some instructions, for example, like, okay, answer that I'm currently unavailable. And okay, if the person is sending me an email and my bot replying that I'm unavailable, that the person can request a call with me when I am available, and then bot will kind of continue answering automatically without me, right? So let's do it. There should be a specific condition. So for me, this condition would be an email with the specific keyword in the name, right? I will check now my email soon. So, okay, this is taking some time. So I will change the model to the lighter one so that we are not really, otherwise we are not getting anywhere. Okay, now it should be faster. Okay, now it's finished. Okay, good. Not finished, but it's getting there. Okay, these were the instructions how to set up your API key, right? For some reason, it's a bit more than I expected. Should be, but whatever. Okay, then the next one, what we copy is this big prompt. I think I copied it. Let's do it again. You don't need to worry because this is already written and you will get access to it. Okay, let's just copy paste. I'm just pressing enter. In this prompt, you will need to change things, right? You will need to change your name and you will need to change your, I don't know, like the booking details for the call with you, right? Because this one will just, actually, I think I need to change it because otherwise I will get a lot of different bookings. So let's just do it like this. Okay, now it's saved. Okay, so now we just got some code. Okay, it's finished, right? Let's just copy this code. And now we are going to this Google Scripts. This link is already open. We can just create a new project. We will need to set up API key as well. But yeah, let's do it like this. So all you need to do is save this and run it. Just to save time so that I don't run into some debugging issues, I prepared the project which is ready. Simply potentially used like a couple of debugging iterations here. But okay, so now we can check, but it's basically the same. Now we can check my inbox, not this one. Let's check the working one. And okay, Stephanie sent us something. So let's see, dear Katerina, can you suggest me a tool to generate, okay, slides, slide deck. All right, let's run our script. Okay, not this one. Let's run our script. We just run it. And yeah, we found one email. That's exactly what Stephanie sent to me. All right, let's see what it replied, if it replied something. So everything is live. So yeah, let's see. Okay, this I don't see any. Okay, thank you for reaching out. This is Clippy Case Personal. Kate is currently unavailable, blah, blah, blah. So if Stephanie, you can reply to this email and can you set up a call with Kate? Can you set up a call with Kate? And then, yeah, while it's creating. Actually, I can show you some other examples which Christina sent me earlier. So she said, okay, yes, I would like to book a call, please. And that's what it answered. Hi, Christina, thank you for response. La la la. So please let me know your availability, or if you'd prefer, there is a Kate Calendly. If you click this link, then you will just get to my schedule and you can book a call with me. So basically, my assistant answered without me. So, and it continued conversation kind of. So it is capable of continuing conversation if the prompt instructions are as human so. So that's very nice. And you can provide different examples. And also the thing is that you not need to run it always. Of course, you run it first to test it, but then you can set a trigger and you say, okay, I'm setting the trigger. So after every time I receive a specific keyword in email, I run this code. Or for example, I run it every 5 hours. I run it once a day in the evening. So you can set a lot of conditions. So it will run. And yeah, if you are on vacation and then, okay, you want to every day like get your unread emails response, especially the emails that they usually have the same kind of the similar request in it, you can do that. Okay, so that was one example with email automation. And again, all is available to you, so you can go through this. Here is the instruction how to set up your API key. For this, again, here is the request. You can just put it into ChatGPT. It will tell you, okay, how to set it up. And yeah, you can just follow instructions and hopefully, yeah, you can do that. And in this slide, there is just where you need to provide the key and value of your API key. Okay, and the last example I want to show is build your own private chatbot. And that's very interesting why we need a private chatbot, because basically when you work with Gemini, with OpenAI, with Claude, etc., you cannot provide your personal information like your medical, let's say like prescriptions or financial data or legal data. You cannot provide I don't know, your family members' names or phone numbers or addresses, right? As sometimes we want, I don't know, like analyze something which contains private information, especially if it's like financial or something. And that's where I recommend to use local AI, meaning that everything will be calculated on your local machine, on your laptop or your computer. And that's, you can easily make this private chatbot. And then if you work with this private chatbot, you are completely allowed to provide to this chatbot the information, like all the private information. So your privacy, like everything will be stored only locally. And you don't need to like be afraid of your your private information is going to be leaked or not. So again, everything is completely bounded to your own PC. So the tool is called LM Studio. You can just download it here, right? Once downloaded, you will be prompted to some instructions. You can just follow instructions. It has like 3 levels of professionalism, let's say, of familiarity with technology. And the first one is you're completely a newbie, then it will do one thing. And if you're a developer, then it's the other thing. So you can just, based on your level, you can choose what you will do. So because for developers, it offers a bit more flexibility. For, let's say, less techy people, it offers some predefined options. So I will open now LM Studio and I show you how it works. So basically it looks like a normal chatbot. So once it's downloaded, all you need to do is download the model. That you can do it here. Right. I downloaded the last model of OpenAI. It's GPT OSS 20 billion. So this is the model, is open source ChatGPT, let's say. So it's your own ChatGPT. It's getting uploaded now to my LM Studio. So now whatever I will do now with this model is going to happen locally on my machine, and nothing is going to be leaked to internet. So that's really amazing opportunity. And let's see what, okay, it's loaded. So now what we will do is that, okay, what are you capable of? So what is happening now, it will take some time because it needs first to initialize on your machine. Okay, it's really fast now. And when I tried today, it was a bit longer. Maybe it's just already got some, yeah, some data. So Yeah, it's telling I'm a conversational AI built by OpenAI, etc., etc. So what it can do, right? So, but the main thing, I want to work with my private data, right? And let me now go to, let's say, this workshop details, and I'm going to work with, yeah, Weiterbildung report. Okay, this is not a secret report, but imagine it's a secret document that I don't want to show. And let's please summarize this doc for me. Or for example, if you get something like, you know, from like you have a disease, hopefully not, but if you have, then you can collect your like prescriptions, your doctor notes, etc., and then collect everything in one place. And then you will always have your history of this disease, and you can always see, okay, I'm having this diet now, or I am doing this. Like, can I do that? So you basically you can provide these documents here, and of course you always need to go to doctor, but then if it's there already, then it's kind of, you can double check what it's doing. Okay, so it's summarizing the doc. I was working with Weiterbildung report from 2025, summary of continuing education. So basically it's showing me, okay, what the current state of this, yeah. And now I wanted to have this small, not game, but kind of we can do an experiment, like a bit of interaction. If you want, we can analyze your CV, right? For, okay, for what is the next best step for you, or what is the, for this, you can provide your LinkedIn profile in a chat. I will wait for, I don't know, 30 seconds. From LinkedIn profile, I can like download your LinkedIn profile as PDF, and then I can upload it here, and then we can see what possibly next best steps for you. If no one is submitting their LinkedIn profile, I will use Katarina's. But if you want to experiment, feel free to share. I think only host and panelists will see it. So that if you're brave enough, just give me your LinkedIn, and then I will recommend your next best job position and the salary. Okay, we have someone. All right. So let me do it. Actually, let me stop sharing my screen for a second, just so that it stays private. Okay. Because someone is already provided. Okay, I'm just downloading this PDF, save to PDF. Now is, okay, I already have someone, so thanks for sharing, but I guess that's already enough. Yeah, let me share my screen. Yep. So yeah, let's do a new chat, because for this one, it's better to start new. And then we do downloads, and then we have profile 4, I guess. Yep. So what is the next best role for this person based on their CV? We can see, of course, from LinkedIn, you have public information, right? But in, for example, in your, if you use your CV, normally you have your address, your phone number there, so maybe you don't want to really expose it. So let's see what we have. Full stack front-end engineering, why it fits, data-driven product engineer, domain-specific engineer. What did I ask? Next best role recommendation. Okay, technical lead, architecture. Okay, so we got some recommendations. All right, let's ask, what would be the salary range in Zurich? Let's ask in Zurich, right? Let's see what we get for this person. Actually, you can see the name, so it's not now fully private, but okay. That's, but we don't see the full profile. Yeah, for suggested roles. So we can see that there are some roles. So if you're watching this right now, you know what to tell to your boss. Maybe you, okay, or maybe it's too less. All right, so it's basically was derived. It even tells you, okay, what kind of sources were used. So yeah, basically that's that's the tools that I wanted to show today, and it's nice to use LM Studio for your private stuff. So if you have questions, feel free to write them, and I will answer them soon. Okay.
Thank you, Kate. That was very amazing.
So let's talk about AI-assisted programming. So the topic of AI-assisted programming is really everywhere right now in the software developer world. And you have probably heard terms like vibe coding and also claims that software developers won't be needed anymore in the next 3 to 5 years, maybe. And the truth is, well, it's complicated because there are big questions around things like intellectual property, then the reliability of training data, and if AI can even solve really complex coding problems or not. Today, I don't want to just add to that noise, but instead I'll take a practical angle and I will show you some examples. I will talk a bit about pitfalls and give some tips and tricks for you. So these are the tools and techniques I would like to cover a bit today. So we look at text-to-code generators. These are tools that can turn an idea into an interface in seconds. I will show you what they do well, but also I will talk a bit where they hit their limits. Then I will talk about debugging with AI. There you have more collaborative interaction with AI, and this is usually what is used most. And of course, then in the end, I will show you also what is possible. And there I will introduce you to a small personal project which I built for Constructor Academy's Mastering Generative AI program. And before we go to these tools and techniques, I want to set a bit the stage. So when we talk about AI-assisted coding, it's not just hype from the sidelines. So voices like, for instance, Andrej Karpathy, who is the co-founder of OpenAI and also worked for Tesla, he called it actually a new generation of programming language. And this programming language is just plain English. And this, of course, refers to the fact that we are using prompts in these tools, and then we will generate the code. Another thing to understand is that there are different tools for different purposes. So you have, for instance, these prototype generation tools, which are used to generate a complete first code base. And these are examples for these are bold, done, and then the one I will show you, which is V0 by Versal, and then there's also screenshot to code. Then you have tools which are part of your IDE, like PyCharm or VS Code, and very known, of course, here are Cursor, Copilot, Windsurf, and there's also a tool called Tab9, and Tab9 is actually based on permissive open source licenses. So it's, let's say, it tries to avoid a bit the conflict with having these data which is actually not allowed to scrape, because Tab9 will only use data where the owner agreed to using it. And then you have the language models, and these language models are usually not just focused on programming, but of course they can be used for it. Very known are for sure ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and then you also have open source models, which are, for instance, LeChat, and also a lot of models on Hugging Face. And these models you can download, you can run them locally, and you can actually also train them on your company code base, which means that they kind of learn your way to code. So now that I set that floor, I want to show you Versal, and the project I built there is a resource library. And that means that I maybe have a topic where I'm interested in, and I collect a lot of different sources like blog posts, docs, like PDF for downloads, or even podcasts. And then I want to have like an interface where I can filter them and have a look at them. And this is what I did. And I will show you how the first page looks like in a moment. But now I actually wanted to focus on how this looks like. So here in the corner, you can see my first prompt, which is actually quite short. And then I have a second prompt, which is also quite short, but it already generated quite a nice interface to work with. So I have like these fields with these different tags, and I have also a filter button where I can already interactively choose what I want to look for. With Verso, you have the opportunity to not only have the preview, what you can see now, but you also have the opportunity to actually have a look at the code, how you would build it. And this code you can actually also download. You can move it directly to GitHub and work with it further and things like that. So now what I wanted to do is to quickly sign out to show you how the landing page looks like. So you can see here that here is where you would put your prompt, and then it will start generating something for you, depending on what you want to do. It can be dashboards, it can be landing pages, or for blogs, the user interfaces. Yeah, and there are a lot of examples, as you can see. The problem why why it is very magical, and it's super fast. It takes like a few seconds and you have like this ready to go interface with the code. And of course it is really magical. But the thing is that you have to be a bit careful, because this code and also the interface might already look quite perfect, but there might be some hidden complexity. There might be some edge cases which are not covered, and performance issues, for instance. So this might lead in the end to a point where it's not easy to maintain your app or whatever you're building, your website. So another thing is what is not really covered always is security and compliance issues. And that might mean that you are using code which is under a specific license, for instance, and then of course that can cause you trouble. And then what you also have is that they might not be scalable. So they might work as a prototype, but you cannot get them to a production ready product. And if you're planning to build a company or to produce some nice product, a nice app or website, it is still always a very good idea to get a software developer into your company. So when we now have a look at what software developers are actually using AI for, I had a look at the developer survey, which is done by Stack Overflow. And you can see here, yes, it is true that software developers are using AI to write code and also to search for answers. And for instance, for debugging, it's very important. But the thing is that they always have in the back of their head, they already know about all these pitfalls. And so they have a very interactive role with it. They will set very clear boundaries and put everything into question what the AI will put out in the beginning. And on the right side, you can see where developers are actually not at all interested to use AI tools for. And there you have things like committing and reviewing code, which is a very a very important part of the entire process. Then, of course, for instance, for project planning, because it's a very interactive with the stakeholders. And I think you need this human interaction is still wanted there. And also for deployment and monitoring, this is something where software developers say, okay, I'm not giving this out of hand into some into the hand of some AI tool. So the next thing I wanted to show you is a little game. It's an M&M's guessing game, which I uploaded to a page called Replit. On Replit, you can also build small apps, but you can also build like create like remote IDEs. This is what I did here. And I just will start running. And you can see, so my and guessing game is about that you have a jar where you have a specific number of M&Ms inside and you have to guess the number. If you guess the number right, then you get a lunch on the house. And the number is between 50 and 150, and you have 5 attempts. So when I try this out, then it will, of course, set in place some testing if my guess was too high or too low. So I will just go further, and it's too low. So it's, oh, and let me, and it will stop at some point and tell me, okay, you have reached the maximum attempts. So now for debugging, let's say I was a participant in the masterclass of Constructor Academy, and Stephanie told me, oh, cool, I can write this M&M's game very easily with some AI. So I will do that. But because I'm not very good, or I don't have so much experience with coding, I have a bug. So let me run this again. And now it will give me this error message. And I'm like, but what do I do now with that? So, and now I have the tips for you for actually working with ChatGPT for debugging. So the most important thing is that you tell it what you want it to do. You also tell it what you already have done. And then you can tell it what happened or what the error message is, because it needs this specific input to be really helpful for you. Sometimes when you just plug in the error message, it can be that it doesn't really help you. But with all this, with let's say a good amount of background knowledge, it will be very powerful to help you. So when I run this, of course it will tell me that I forgot to import random, and because I asked it also to tell me how to debug it, it will go into some further explanations. What is wrong, what is really helpful if you are a beginner coder, for instance. So I could easily go back and just fix it, and then I can run it again. So, but I won't do that tonight because we already did that. And so, yeah, to just focus again on these tips for debugging. So you need to give some enough context for it to work with, and give it also this what you actually want to do, and maybe some short steps which you already have taken in your code, because that usually helps these tools very much by solving the issue. And yeah, sometimes, and that is the last point, is to ask the AI to ask questions back to you. So that it can specify a bit more what your problem is, for instance, or where you want to go. And that is also very true, for instance, if you want to build a product and you're using ChatGPT and not Vercel, for instance, you can go there and say, I want to build this and that, like for instance, a machine learning model. And then you tell it, okay, what information do you need from me before we go to coding? And this is also very powerful prompting to use. And now we come already to the to my showcase, which is a little app I built, as I said, for the masterclass in generative AI. That's now, but the generative AI course, which is provided by Constructor Academy. And I have a database with a collection of books, which I found in podcasts and reading magazines. And I want to match these books with reading challenges. And these reading challenges can be, for instance, to read a book with more than 400 pages, to read a book that will make you scared. So what I already had was, I had a very clear understanding about all the steps that I wanted to take and about all the modules that I wanted to build. But I didn't necessarily had an idea how to translate these steps or modules to code. And also how I built my file and folder structure the best way was something where I wasn't clear about in the beginning. And so I went to Claude and also to ChatGPT, and I explained to them what I wanted to do. I also asked the question, okay, what information do you need from me? And then we built this little app with Streamlit. And though I had already a bit of experience with Streamlit, it wasn't that deep to set all these things up that I have in my app. So for instance, to go into my SQLite database and get information out of it and show it in the Streamlit app. And so for instance, that I could build for my first page, like the Spotlight book, which will always go into the database and get some random examples out of it. I also wanted to create like this bingo card to have some gamification part in it, and all this, and how to integrate it into Streamlit. I didn't know. I just know that I wanted to do it and wanted to try it, and that's what I did. And then I also wanted to add this, that everyone or every user who visits the site can generate a personal card. And the most important thing is actually the third side, which does this matching. And this matching is an entire workflow which will actually first go into the database and see if a match between a reading challenge and a book has already been made. In the next step, it will look for data like, for instance, is there given 400 pages? Or is there something like there should be a star in the title? The word star should be in the title. It will go into the text blurb in the next step and see if there's a specific genre which it can detect from the description of the book. And then in the last step, which is the most wide thing, I will go into, I will send the reading challenge to an LLM plus all my text blurbs, so all the descriptions for the content of the book, and see if I have something in my database which matches the reading challenge. So I can, for instance, pick a random challenge and say, okay, I want historical fiction, and then I try to match the book. And then it will go through these different steps. So you can see that there has not been a match yet, but that it does detect the genre, and it will of course also print the book information about it. So that was my personal project which I built, and it was an experiment on how far I can get with these AI tools, and I was very happy in the end with it. So to finish off, I want to kind of combine a bit to best practices. So I think that a basic technical understanding on how LLMs and Gen AI work is very essential, not only for tech teams, but also for the management, so that you have a clear understanding of where to use these tools and what best they can actually do. And then the next thing would be, if you start with using these tools in your daily work, to start very, very small and with very well-defined, isolated tasks. Not give it an entire project and try to do something with that, because that might backfire. So for my example with these book reading challenges, I really worked for each step in each model had like its own chat, and I just worked on each of these little steps to generate in the end this big product. And then I also checked every line of code against my own knowledge. That is also something I would definitely say you should do. And then everything should be very well documented, and that includes also the prompts, so that you kind of know later, not only, I mean, documentation is important anyway, but also the prompt actually help you to understand later how you got there. And then for the company or the team as a whole, to establish very clear guidelines and boundaries how to use these tools, and that definitely the human being retains the control and the overview of the code. And with that, I finish my part of AI-assisted coding, and I will give it back to Katharina.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. That was very, very impressive, especially when we saw.
Hello, everybody. So nice to virtually meet you. To introduce myself, so I'm Matteo. I work with Constructor Academy, covering mostly the program of mastering generative AI. And today we are trying in a few minutes to give you a bit of the sense and the taste of what we are covering in our area, let's say. My background is computer engineering, the AI engineering. Also worked for various years in trading, in finance. We will see some example of a financial use case in a bit. But first, let's continue. First, so what we are covering, let's say, in my part is a bit more. I mean, we have already seen a lot from Kate and from Stephanie about the potential of generative AI. Here we are moving a bit more into agents, agentic AI, understanding a bit better the foundation, also from a theoretical point of view, also from coding. So ideally here, the goal would be then to master, to know not just the basic theory behind, to really understand how a large language model is trained and is built, plus also advanced topics like RAG system, memory, multi-agent, and so on. So we will see now, as I said, few minutes, so 10, 15 minutes, I try to give you a bit a feeling. But what is generative AI? I mean, as Kate was already describing, and as many of you probably know, this is the wave that has basically come in our daily life, let's say in 3 years' time after the first ChatGPT was released. It was already there before, but now in the last couple of years, it's really everywhere, no? And this is coming basically from the LLM models that are basically generating text like GPT-4, 5, whatever, diffusion models that are generating, recognizing images, video, and multimodal models that basically are able to put together different kind of data. Can be text, can be audio, can be and putting everything together and try to mimic the human reasoning, let's say, in a certain sense. So reaching the general AI. The idea behind generative AI, as you know, behind this model is that you have a huge amount of data that is given to the model, to the algorithm. The model is trained basically using all the data that is available on the internet. And in this way, then the model is able to replicate the content that is seen during the training. I don't want to go too much into the details because we have a few minutes, so I just give you a very small current landscape. In my opinion, currently in 2025, this is a bit the trends that we see on the market. So we have, from a business point of view, there is a bit of a rush also from companies that are not purely tech company in trying to quickly try to adopt the new technologies, to don't feel behind, to don't feel that you've been behind, you're losing an opportunity. There are the major players that have been working on this already for many years, Google, OpenAI, whatever, and every week they are breaching the frontier of the latest models, the latest technology. So every month, every week, a new model is coming up. Sometimes, even if you work in this field, you feel that you are a bit overwhelmed with all the news that are coming up, popping up here and there. In my opinion, what is important is to understand really in a good way, in a decent way, the basic behind, the theory behind, to then be able to navigate also the new tools. Because today also we have seen some tools already with Kate, with Stephanie. There are so many tools available in the market now. So it's also good to have a knowledge and understandings to be able to navigate this big ocean of AI. The current trends on the industry, I mean, the industries that are mostly impacted, in my opinion, are the creative field. So marketing, designing, even film, music, I mean, they are heavily impacted. There are some of them, some jobs are already being replaced by AI in this context. Also, from a productivity tool point of view, we have seen Stephanie using Copilot for coding, for debugging, etc. Plus specialized domains, for example, as Kate was telling us, also in protein discovery, drug discovery, and so on. The trends now is that multimodals models or models that can, let's say, use different kind of data, not just text, not just video, but putting everything together, it's really going fast. This is the new, let's say, the trend of 2025, I would say. And from a company point of view, it's getting more and more critical to protect your data, to protect your business. So you cannot afford to use a model that is like OpenAI using the ChatGPT, because then your data that you are writing into ChatGPT potentially can be used by OpenAI to train the model or whatever. So companies are also more cautious in having the model deployed on their own. So having given a quick introduction about the topic, another introduction about the topic, a bit more on our area, I would like to show you an example. Basically, here we are trying to build in few minutes an agent, a financial agent. We call it financial robo-advisor. And basically, here we are trying to tackle a real-world application, a real-world challenge. So potentially, I mean, I guess most of you probably you have savings and you are trying to invest on the long term your savings through some traditional financial assets, and so on. Here we are building in this example that I'm showing now. I have built it in less than 1 hour. And we are going to do this also in the workshop in case you want to come and to participate in our workshop. The idea is to basically, in a very fast way, in 1 hour, build an app a Python app that can be easily deployed also on the internet. To do that, we are using Streamlit. I don't know if any of you have already heard about Streamlit. This is a platform that is giving you the possibility to easily deploy your Python app, not just Python, but let's say we are doing Python, and then make it available also online in an easy way. Talking about the app that we are building, that we are showing here, it's a portfolio analysis engine. So basically, we want to, given the user preferences about investing, is saving, is portfolio, we are building an agent. We are using an LLM to build an agent that is providing some investment recommendation. Basically, we will see in a bit, we want an agent that is telling us how to invest our money in order to build our portfolio for the future years. So to do that, we are going to use OpenAI API, so GPT-5 mini model in particular. And to show then the app, to have the app live, we are going to build the interactive web interface using Streamlit app, as I said. So I'm gonna just play the video to stay short. If you want to see more details, we can see maybe in the future. Now I'm just trying to give a bit of a feeling. So this is Streamlit. You can also go and try to play with it. It's a platform that gives the possibility to basically create your app. It has started as a data platform for data app, but basically you can create whatever you want. You can load whatever Python project you want in a very easy way. They also provide an environment where you can develop your code. This is IDE. Here we are going to put all our Python code. This is just one, you see, one single Python file. It has been written using, also in this case, LLM to have like faster development. Of course, then you need to have some debugging, so some knowledge of Python, some knowledge of coding is always required. But here you see pretty easy. You start your Python, you just launch your Python file, and then you have potentially, you can also open it in a browser, and you have the first version of your application. So you see it's a web page. Here we have this Robo-Advisor homepage where it's quickly explaining Robo-Advisor is here to help you in planning and understanding a way to invest. You see, we have the connection to OpenAI API. So this is basically the piece that is letting us connecting to the LLM model, to GPT-5 model, to use the LLM model also to get some intelligent advice. Here we can start filling, let's say as a user, we can start filling our investment profile. So let's say that we want to invest 100K. We would like to have invested this over the next 5 years. Our currency of preference is Swiss franc. Then we set our risk profile. So let's say that we are quite cautious. So we want to keep a low risk profile, and we want to impose a maximum yearly loss tolerated of 5%. Then we click generate recommendation. You see our application, our agent, it's also connecting to a live market data library that we are using in order to get the current market context. And it's basically going and connecting to the OpenAI API in order to get the best portfolio, the best recommendation possible. This is gonna take, for this version, this is the first version of this agent, it's taking typically couple of minutes for the AI model to do all the reasoning and to create the portfolio. But let's see, once the portfolio is created, then we have down here the view portfolio result. And we have a nice page with all the details. In this case, the portfolio It's invested over 6 different ETFs. For every ETF, you see we have also an explanation of why it was proposed to invest in such an instrument, how to purchase this instrument. Also, we have the external link that is telling us more details about every ETF. Plus, we have some statistic about the asset class distribution. We have the potential portfolio growth, potential growth over the next years. We have some risk parameters, so the maximum yearly loss, expected annual return. And then we have also some nice commentary about the strategy. So it's telling us what is the current market situation. So given the current market situation, our agent, our robo advisor, it's advising to invest the money in our saving in this way, plus some risk assessment and so on. I mean, this is something that has been done really in 1 hour, in less than 1 hour. So it's still, let's say, it can be, of course, pretty much improved, but nevertheless, I think it is showing already a way where you can build something that if you have like a business idea or something that you want to develop, you have tools that are quite powerful, and in a short time you can easily create a proof of concept like this one. And then the nice thing of this tool of Streamlit, of this platform, is that you can also, I mean, also the code that you write, the project that you have, it's immediately integrated directly into your GitHub repository. So this can be used as a starting point also for future development to then expand next version, next functionalities, and so on. So this was very, very fast to give you a bit an idea of some kind of hands-on work that we are doing in our workshop and in our classes. Another point that I would like to stress, it's not just building up apps in a fast way, but on the other side, for me, I think it's also important to know, maybe not in details, but understand at least the basic of the fundamentals of AI engineering. So understanding also the libraries that are behind. Here we are talking, for example, about LangChain, LangGraph, in case you want to build multi-agent system, understanding how the memory is managed, and so on. So this is also something that we are covering in our classes, typically through some interactive coding sessions with Python. Typically, we use notebooks. So this is kind of one, just to give you a feeling. So let's say here, for example, we are covering LangChain library fundamentals. So we really start with some theoretical introduction, and then we start from scratch. So we really install the library. We start exploring with the Python commands that are most useful for these libraries. We explore, as I said, like how to store in the memory the messages, how to manage the chat, how to build multi-agents, and so on. This is more like to show you what you can expect. It's going to be the experience in case you want to then attend our classes. So I would say that having some prior knowledge of coding would be beneficial for the classes that I'm covering. Nevertheless, we are not doing classes that are just coding. We always try to do the right mix. So also, if you're not if you're not an expert coder, that don't worry. It's just a nice to have, let's say. Then the advanced topics that are also covered in this area are the advanced agentic workflows. So how to design a multi-agent, for example, how to manage the workflow, some details about RAG, so how you can manage external data, external memory into your AI agent, and plus deployment, monitoring, API. I mean, this is really changing every week, every month. So this is just to give you a bit of a feeling. So just to sum up my part, I hope I didn't take too much time. It's, let's say, 3 points that I want to stress. So some theory to understand generative AI, also from a theoretical point of view, understanding how LLM works, how agentic architecture is built. Practice, so a lot of time in practicing, in building maybe app like the one that we have seen, understanding real world tools, the tools that are now in the market, and also being able to have something that can go in production. So you should be able then to have something to show, at least as a proof of concept, as a result of your class. So this is it from my side. Of course, if you have a question, feel free to write it. I try to answer, and I give back the word to Caterina.
Thank you, Matteo. That was amazing. And thanks a lot. And if you look, everyone, if you look how fast apps can be built, right? Like this financing app was built in 1 hour, Matteo said. So if you know how to do it, if you know how to do it and you have the fundamentals, then you can build an app quite quickly, at least as proof of concept. So can someone please share the screen for me, the slides? Because we are now going on a little bit. We are just so we are 1.5 hours. We already we're going through our masterclass. And if you look what else we have seen, so we saw how we build a finance app. You saw how AI assisted coding works, like text to code generator, debugging, and how to build your own app like Nara Luna. And Kate showed you email automation, business presentation, how to do it with AI, and also how to run a chatbot on your own laptop. So if you want to know more, next slide, please. If you want to know more, I mean, this is just the beginning of your AI journey, right? We only showed you, it was a lot, but it was only the surface. But you can learn more, and here's a part how you can do it. Next slide, please. So we have workshops that go much deeper than what you saw now, right? You go deep into it. You can try it out by yourself. We do it more in detail. So here we are going to have 3 of them. So one is the AI assisted programming workshop done by Stephanie. It will take place October 14th to 15th. And it will be all the workshops will be 2 days long, 2 days, one after the other, from 6 to 9 p.m. That means 3 hours per day, 6 hours altogether. And it will be online, and live teaching, and you can join online like you do now. So one is the AI assisted programming workshop on October 14th and 15th. The next one will be October 21st and 22nd, done by Ekaterina. It's about generative AI for business workshops. It's also from 6 to 9. So that means 2 days in a row, 3 hours per day, 6 hours altogether. And online also, you join online. And then the very last one is Mastering Intelligent Agents, done by 2 people. So the first day will be done by Matteo, and the second day by Adriano Persegani. It will be the October 28th to October 29th, also from 6 to 9, so 3 hours each day, and 6 hours altogether online. And maybe next slide, please. Stephanie, could you tell us a little bit more what we can expect from your workshop?
Yes, of course. So I will, first of all, I will talk a bit about the issues, of course, which arise around this topic of AI-assisted programming. I will also go a bit deeper into prompting because, of course, prompt engineering is the main subject when it comes to make AI-assisted programming really helpful and to get good answers out of it. And then I will show a lot of different tools like the one I show today with Vercel, but also others. I will show tools how to integrate in your IDE. I will show tools which work together with Jupyter Notebooks. And then we will, on the second day, we will use all this, what we have learned the day before, to create a small little project for yourself or for your work, which will make your life easier. And yeah, it would be a lot of fun to create this.
So people will code and do it while you are teaching. So you do it in parallel with them.
So they can work with me in parallel, which of course also means that it helps a lot if you have some coding knowledge and you have some basic knowledge and maybe also already have seen some of these tools, or let's say you already work with an IDE, for instance, and you know for GitHub, all these things work to get along very well and to keep so that we can together work on something that you can use in the end.
Thank you. So for this workshop, we invite everybody who wants to know how AI-assisted programming works, how debugging works, and how you can use these tools and also use it for the business. Right. So next slide, please. The next workshop we are offering is Mastering Intelligent Agents with Matteo and Adriano. And Matteo, what do you think? What do you think? What are you teaching in this workshop? What can people learn additionally to what you already showed us?
Yeah, as I said, the idea is, I mean, the workshop will be 2 days. The idea is that in the first day, I will be in the first day. I will teach in the first day, and the first day we are covering the basic of the LLM, so understanding really how an LLM works, getting a good foundation, creating some application like the one that we have seen, exploring the basic of LangChain, LangGraph, the most important libraries. In the second day, Adriano will take over, and it will go through more advanced topics like building up multi-agents, RAG architectures, so more advanced topics. So the idea overall is to have say 2 days. It's very much intense, very much condensed, but to have a first introduction to really make you aware and strong in this new field, right? And then maybe if you like, you can continue with also other programs.
Okay, and for whom is your workshop? Who is your target?
As I said, I would recommend this to people that are already a bit familiar to coding, at least because since it's gonna be 2 days, so pretty much fast, pretty much dense. If you already know a bit about coding, would be beneficial for you. So for somebody that is already a bit techy but wants to expand into this direction, into agents, multi-agents, knowing the latest tools and so on.
Okay, thanks. Very interesting workshop. And then the last workshop we have is with Ekaterina. It's Generative AI for Business workshop. Kate, tell us what are you teaching in this workshop additionally to what you already showed us now?
Yeah, that will be a lot of topics as well. As in Matteo's workshop, it will be about fundamentals of AI to understand what is possible, what is not. Then basically it will be marketing, content generation. It will be working with your data, working with the tables like CSV files, reports, writing reports, a bit more about automation of emails, for example. I will show how to set up the API key, how to set the whole thing. And what else? Yes, we will talk also about this. For example, if you have your AI startup idea, then we will talk about what are the key, let's say, success criteria for the business. If you think about this generative AI business, we will talk through business model canvas. And yeah, we'll cover some successful AI startups and their strategies, and also For the hands-on, it will be again some of well, we will also do the podcast. You'll create your own podcast, and yes, the plan is also to work on your project in the end. So if you
Wow, this is a lot to cover, right? So you learn how to build your own podcast, and you do a mini project at the end. So tell me, Kate, who is your target group here?
Also, we are going to create the videos with AI and even videos with like the audio and subtitles and well, a lot of things related to the content generation. Who is my the audience? I would say like marketing specialists, also HR people, and maybe manager, business owners who are interested how to employ AI. That would be, and everyone interested how to use the tools. Like in my workshop, we will not code a lot, so we will mostly use the tools that are available. So even if you're a coder but you want to know more about like what other tools are available, that's what we can do. So yep.
So it's for everybody who is interested in AI, coder or non-coder, who is interested in how to use it and how to get solutions right for business, how to become faster or more efficient.
Exactly, yes.
So thanks a lot. And next slide, please.
Your connection stabilized. Very good.
Yes, finally. So as you can see, we have 3 live workshops with where you learn hands-on skills, right? And where you can gain real value. So just to put it together again, summarize it, AI-assisted coding with Stephanie, where you can learn how to code smarter and faster than before. Then we have Mastering Intelligent Agents with Matteo and Adriano, where you learn to build, deploy, and monitor advanced agentic AI systems. And we have the Generative AI for Business workshop with Ekaterina, where you learn to build, prompt, automate AI skills for, well, the modern professional, right? Why are our workshops a game changer, or why could they be a game changer for you? So we have everything is live, right? So we have 18 hours of live teaching, 2 days, 3 hours each. So this, and you learn hands-on practice. So the live teaching gives you also the chance to ask your questions. You dive very deep into cutting-edge AI technologies. So you really go into the details. You learn about practical examples which you can apply immediately to your work. To the recordings and materials, you will have lifetime access. The same you will have to this workshop. So to this masterclass we are doing right now. So you also will have access to all the materials we showed you. And so during the workshops, you will have a one-to-one support from our expert team. It's a little bit different than now that you are muted. No, you will have the right to talk. You will have the right to ask questions right away, and they will be answered during these 6 hours. At the end, you will receive a certification from one of Europe's top AI academies. You can see, and we are very, very proud to have them, that we got 3 batches from Course Report about in this year. So it's about the best AI and ML machine learning bootcamp that we are offering. We have the best data science bootcamp in 2025, and also we are under the best European bootcamps in 2025. So this shows that we really have a deep expertise, and we are always updating our knowledge, and we are also always updating the material and what we are teaching. And at the end, as I said, you will receive a certification from our side, and that might be also very interesting for most or many of you. You can join up to 3 times the workshops you paid once for. That means even if you didn't understand, or if you want to refresh the knowledge, or if there's maybe it can also be that some apps or some tools are changing during the time. So you can join the next time again and see how it is updated and how we teach it now, right? So this is very, very, I think, really interesting workshops for everyone. Next slide, please. And these workshops are not for free. So these workshops, and this is really an exclusive offer for everybody who joined today. So only for those who joined today with a code I'm going to give you afterwards. So the regular price is usually 450 euro per workshop and altogether 1,350. But for those who joined today, we are having a special offer with 250 per workshop and 500 for all the 3 workshops. That means you would save up to 850 euro if you take all 3. And you know only who buys can save, right? This is more than 60% of total saving. And how do you get now to these workshops? Next slide, please. You can secure your spot today. Here's the code on the left-hand side. You see the QR code. Here you can apply. You scan it and you can apply. And for sure, all these workshops will equip you with the practical skills. Use for getting the special offer. Use AI Masterclass. This is our promo code, so you can use it without T, please. So it's Masterclass and not Masterclass. Yeah, we did a little game for you. So this is only for those who joined today. And so we are happy to see you there. And now, next slide, please. We are going to have Q&A. Thank you so much for your attention, for staying with us over 2 hours nearly. I hope it was interesting for you. You gained a lot of new knowledge. And now we are open to your questions. Those who want to ask with their voice, just raise the hands and we will give you the word. And you can also write in the chats. And thanks so much for listening to us. Thank you, Kate and Matteo and Stephanie, for doing all these presentations. And now we are open to questions.